I'm unemployment and he's anime. And together we're gaming. It's your boys Idle Screens with a fresh new podcast talking to the topics that you want to know about.
Hello. Welcome. What's on the list, Hypey? What are we talking about?
Today I have something special for you.
What are
I
we talking about?
have sent you an image that's going to
Okay.
matter to the topics that we're going to bring up. One thing that's important, it's something you don't know what it is, but
Okay,
it's
I'm
going
not gonna
to
click on it,
correlate.
right?
Not going to click on it,
Go.
but it is going to correlate because one thing that we did mention is unemployment. And things about gaming and unemployment, they do mash together because
Mhm.
obviously there's games we play and we had a job, right? Um,
Yeah, exactly.
and Steam actually helps a lot with that, by the way, with like Steam Share. I don't know if you've ever been like in a family. You just uh,
No, I've
you,
never
wait,
used
you don't?
stream Steam Share.
You actually
Yeah,
don't?
no.
It it's kind
I
of
buy the games just because, like, I'm gonna give them my money. So
I guess that's fair. It's kind of busted because like if you're unemployed and you have a friend who has all the games in the world, you know that
okay,
everyone has that one friend that has like 400 games. If you're
yeah,
in his family or their family,
you can play all their games,
all of them,
all of them.
all of them.
This
Now
is something I did not know. I thought
let
you could only play like certain games. That's why I never really bothered with.
they like changed the settings recently. It was like 6 months ago or something.
Like you can borrow a game, but now you can borrow basic.
Yeah, like you can borrow all of them. The thing is, what they changed to actually make it a lot better was the fact that let's say there's 5 people in the family.
Okay.
2 people have Rivals of Aether, for example.
Okay. It's
Two
free, by the way.
Rivals of Aether?
Am I thinking about the right one?
You're
No, it
you're thinking
isn't.
about
You're
Rivals.
right. You're right. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
So
Thinking about.
it doesn't matter. Two people want to play Rivals of Aether from the family,
Okay.
even if they are the
Yeah.
people who didn't buy the game, they could
Okay.
play that. So
Interesting.
so let's say we have 2 friends, we're in their family, they
Yeah.
bought the game so they could play, and now later on maybe I hit you up
So
and
whose
I'm like, "Hey,
account are
let's
you
play."
using? Now this adds more questions. Account are you?
What do you mean which account?
Yeah, you're borrowing someone's games, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but it also goes to the point
Are you
where
the leech or are you being leeched?
you're both.
No, no, but you. I'm
Me
asking
personally?
you. Are you the leech or are you being
Oh, I'm
from?
leeching.
You're leeching? How many
Oh yeah,
games have
yeah.
you played?
I barely got into like this broken family that has so many games that are like in my
Okay.
category. I would say
Yeah.
probably like
You're the leech. You're a big
yeah,
leech.
I'm leeching. Leech
Okay.
energy. You know, like
It's part of being unemployed, right? Like, you
you gotta
just
find way. Hmm.
yeah. Okay. You gotta enjoy things as much as you can.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where it's there, you know.
Yeah.
Your friend's like, hey, do you want to borrow the game? You're like, sure, I'll bring it back to you. And obviously, you don't bring it back
Yeah, because you
because
don't have to.
yeah, you don't have to.
Okay.
Not like you would though.
So, right, what we were talking about earlier was if we did have a job, what games would we play?
Yeah.
I said I think I'd play mobile games a lot more. Since I'm home a lot, right? I could just play whatever on the computer.
Hmm.
But I noticed that when I did have a full-time job, I was a teacher. I literally would just play on my phone as much as possible. It when I had the opportunity, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
I still had to work. What about you?
It's funny because when you brought up that point, I kind of agree because there's nothing that encourages you to find a source of income than a good gotcha game. You get a good gotcha
What?
game and it's
That was
time to
not the
spend,
argument that I was
baby.
trying to put
Yes,
out, by the way.
sir. Because
You're like, I need a job because my gotcha is just like it's too good.
and
It's too good to be true.
and it works. You know what I'm saying?
Which gotcha? Tell us,
Nikkei.
hype. Which gotcha?
Uh, Victory of Goddess Nikkei, the best mobile app that you can play today. Which brings us to today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, I hate being unemployed, bro. I hate. Look, I'm not a gotcha enthusiast, which
Mm,
I'm glad about, right? I've been
mm,
playing a lot of Marvel recently. I like playing a very competitive games, right?
yeah.
So I got that going for me. I don't know how you can do this, but I do. Okay,
Go ahead.
here's the side conversation. You've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft. Do you think World of Warcraft makes the unemployed depressed?
Uh, I can see that. Yeah.
What? You're agreeing?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree just because
Why? Why does it make people
if oh, you know what? That actually tracks with like a gotcha game. If you get tracked into a cycle where you're like, I need to do this quest, I need to do this
okay?
thing for this game,
Okay.
you are advancing in the game with sometimes no reason to. Like,
Yeah.
you know you will push further and you'll get farther, but you kind of
Yeah.
just wake up every day, you're like, I need to get that done. But why? You know? And it just kind of feels like your daily job.
Like you're clocking in, but you're not even getting paid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And
like the
so,
resources you get. Okay, so my argument and the reason I thought it was funny that you told me, "Hey, I'm feeling down," and I'm like, "You're playing too much WoW." Like it's really like to me, it was just like a box of like a very easy answer to it. But the reason I say that is because I think when you play like gotcha games or when you play like a very big RPG like World of Warcraft, I think the games are designed that you do not progress enough to feel like you made progress. So you are given very, very little progression compared to when you're like level between level 1 and 10. So I think your dopamine receptors basically get like cooked by the time you're like max level and you're just doing dungeons and stuff like that, but you're not progressing as fast as when you were either even between like level 40 to 50 as an example, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be like low levels 1 to 5, but like from level 40 to 50 there's a lot of progression and stuff like that. So I feel like when you end up feeling sad when you're playing these games, I think it's associated to not feeling like you're progressing as fast as you used to. So I think that's where like the bad feelings come from when you're playing these large or
yeah.
massive games.
Cause I agree. Cause to some extent, like the way they break it down, at least in WoW, is that there's like seasons, and you need to gear
Yeah.
up your character. Like, yeah, you had the
Yeah.
max gear from the past season, but gear it up. And when you gear it up at first, you're like, oh, new piece just dropped. Oh man,
Yeah.
my fault. This is gonna be great, right? This and that. And then week 5 hits, week 4, and you're kind of like, this doesn't even matter. Oh, I don't even care about this loot. Oh,
Yeah.
this and that. I'm looking for something though, and if I get it, that'd be real cool.
Yeah.
But I'm only getting a chance for it, you
Yeah.
know. So
The the dopamine that you are desiring, right? Like, isn't there? I think it's like similar for me, at least, because I have ADD. Like, I don't get the dopamine if I feel like I've understood the job, not necessarily mastered. I don't think it's always going to be like, oh, like I 100% know everything about this job. But when I feel like it's mundane, I think it's when I personally feel bored or like I don't feel as excited about my job anymore.
yeah,
And we're unemployed. Woo! Ah.
true.
So there's a lot of things that I like trying, but as soon as I feel like I understand it, I lose interest in it.
Yeah, and with Marvel Rivals, like, or actually with any game, I'll hit a checkpoint that I was like, oh, I needed that to convince
Yeah.
myself like that I was good enough. And once you hit that, you kind of just sometimes you just shut off and stop playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, I got to diamond in League of Legends after I think played it for like 11 years. And then after that, I don't think I barely even touched League of Legends at all. And I would play it religiously basically. And
Yeah,
now like once I hit that milestone, it's kind of like, "Oh, cool." Like I understood the game and like honestly in the sense of like skill progression, I probably did the most like skill progression in that time, which is just in the span of like a few months. I think it's just dedicated learning and like dedicated of like looking not I'm not a big VOD viewer, but I'm a big what's it called lesson person. So I would go watch like videos that were like explaining concepts and stuff like that. And I only really did that like excessively in that time frame of like trying to get to like diamond.
yeah. Sometimes it's like
But
that little push too, where it's like once you get that little push and you find the extra little things that you might have been
yeah,
missing, you get excited over it. You get excited actually over the littlest improvements just because you're like, dude, I was missing something. Imagine me
yeah,
now, you know?
yeah.
So,
And you're like, oh, if I understood this like, months ago, I would be so good and right?
yeah.
Because what I tell people, I think it's in a lot of things, but what I tell people is that when you get good at something, it then turns into everybody is good, but the best are just like inches away from everybody else.
Okay.
So like they're just and it's hard to get those inches, right? Because it's so difficult to get that much better or like catch up to people that are so much higher, which I'm sure you can attest to as you were playing competitive Smash Bros to that degree where you felt like, you're a lot better than a lot of other people, but you needed that like small like inches to catch up to people that were better than you.
Yeah, and like you start looking and you're like the differences aren't even that too crazy, but it's
Yeah.
it's just enough that it's so noticeable. And
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me of like speed running because once you get one of the world record or like the
Yeah.
closest times, there's not really much to improve on slash save in order to like improve your time. Like at a certain point, you're gonna have to ask yourself like, I think
Is it worth
that's
it?
yeah, you're
Yeah.
like, I think that's the most I can go, like me personally, you know. And so
Yeah.
sometimes it could be treated that way.
Yeah, and I think people were speculating. I don't know what Mario game was, where someone said that they are this close to being a perfect game or the perfect run kind of thing, where like a
Hmm.
bot like ran the simulation or whatever, and then someone's like, "Oh, like we only have like so and so amount of time left for to be able to optimize like the speed run and stuff like that." But that's really crazy to think that there's still those small like millimeters or like inches from like getting that much better kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's for the Super Mario Bros, the first one for the Super Nintendo or
Yeah.
the NES,
Is it
sorry.
not is that the one where people were talking about saying it's almost near perfect?
Yeah, so a new runner by the name of Nifsky was destroying every category, and he's known for like these frame perfect improvements and like everything,
Mhm.
just kind of the impossible, kind of becoming like the human task in
Machine.
a way.
Yeah.
Um, but funny enough, anytime someone new pops up in a speedrunning game, like there's always someone else there that is also trying. And a new runner, I believe, he had just gotten into the community as well, average 11. He breaks the world record, something that only Nifsky had been able to for like the past 4 years. And
Yeah.
he, I think, is like 14 frames off from the perfect run.
Yeah.
And that's something that people have been like, how do we get there? And when it happens, like, what
Or
now?
is it even possible kind of thing.
Yeah. Like,
That's funny.
and before it used to be, is it possible? And they were like, technically, if someone was really crazy. And now that craziness
Yeah.
seems like realistic. Like it's right there. I can actually see the end of the tunnel from here. Um, just
That's
kind of
crazy.
just kind of shows like the improvements that they're willing to make just to find improvements, right?
It's the unemployed, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. What else?
Oh, we gotta be speedrunners. Adding to that, right? I said that you have some anime posters behind you. What anime raised you, Hypey? What made you who you are today? Is that the reason you ended up unemployed? You watched an anime and you're like, ah, shit, you're right. I don't, I don't need a job. I'm chilling.
That actually would explain a lot if we think about it that way, because my favorite anime is One Piece, and
Okay, it's
the,
the freedom,
it
right?
it's the
The
most freedom thing, just to be
yeah,
like, I'm unemployed, I'm out of here, boss, goodbye.
yeah. I don't need it, right? Like I just need to eat, sleep, shit, and then I'll do it again.
Yeah, it's like,
Uh, so One Piece raised you. I would say, you know what? I would say it's like an 8 out of 10. I liked it, but I would say the anime that raised me is actually Bleach. But I
oh,
I
that's fair.
wouldn't necessarily recommend it to people if I'm honest. Which is
It's-
interesting, right?
Sometimes shows
Because
are like that. Yeah,
It's like your nostalgia, but like if someone were to ask me to recommend them like a show right now, I'd probably just do something that I'm watching like seasonally
Yeah.
right now, like Levitas or something like that.
Hmm.
That one's really good.
Like
Are you watching it
like I am not gonna tell someone
to
about
watch One Piece?
no to watch
You
Bobobo.
wouldn't tell someone to watch One Piece though.
I would. I've gotten so many people to watch One Piece.
Oh
But
man.
but like certain shows that raised me, I would say like the weirdness of like Bobobo was something that I watched and I was like, oh, this is peak.
No idea which one that one
I
is.
would never show exactly because even if I explained the concept of the show, you wouldn't
It
even
just
believe
doesn't
it.
make sense.
Um,
Okay.
but it's the most absurd thing ever, and whether it be a mustache guy with nose powers or a guy farting to advance the story, you would even just the description. I'm not gonna tell that to somebody. Just watch
Yeah,
Down to Dawn. That shit's going crazy. There's aliens and UFOs in that one. That shit's cool.
that one's a trip, bro.
Yeah.
Rated, I would say over the age of 18, actually.
What?
I saw the first episode, bro, and I was like, there should be an age disclaimer on this.
Oh, the
It was
first
a
episode.
very
Yeah, that
weird.
was pretty
It was
crazy.
a very weird episode. I will. I think it kind of turned me off from like continuing watching because I only watched I think the first 3 episodes, but I was like, it's pretty. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen, on the other hand, I feel like it is uses a lot of themes similar to Dandadan, but I think Jujutsu Kaisen just excels in what they want to do per se.
Yeah. Funny fun fact about these posters.
Hmm.
I actually don't really like the series that much.
Whoa, which one?
They're just like filler. Well, My Hero I think was all right. I finished
You
the
wouldn't.
manga.
What would you rate it?
My Hero?
Yeah,
A
1 through 10.
6, like a 6.
Oh, dude, just why is it behind you, bro? You're baiting people.
I know, I am.
Yeah,
I gotta show that like maybe I am normal, you know. But JJK like,
normie,
what's up?
normie
Yeah,
material.
yeah. I'm like, look, I saw the thing. Ooh.
Yeah,
Uh, JJK when I finished the manga, I thought it was very meh. I was just like, I just didn't like the ending, like the very last arc.
the one that I think I loved a lot, like as a light novel, was Overlord. Actually, for me,
Oh yeah.
and the anime is so bad after season one, but I really enjoyed the story. And I think a lot of people tried copying the Overlord kind of format or the formula, which is I'm an overpowered person that came into a new world and then like story, right? But I feel like they don't match the experience that I had from Overlord, which is um very very detailed world building, which I think a lot of people kind of like miss that point when they're writing their fantasy anime. That like the point and the reason that a lot of these do really well. I forgot a lot of the other ones that I really enjoy, but the best animes or the best shows are the ones where the world building is done so amazingly that it's kind of like a character really showing up into like an actual new world, not just like the character exists and now the world revolves, which is what I see a lot happen in anime.
You'll never believe the two posters that do that. Like how it just starts with like the show revolving around Deku and also with
Yeah, well, in an isekai format, I think is what I'm saying.
yeah.
But yes, I I understand your argument though. We're like, do you dislike that? Where like the world revolves around a character, or like the protagonist has too much control of the story?
I'm actually okay with it. I'm okay with it, but I think it just depends on like how they approach it. Because
Because like, go ahead.
there's a thing like plot armor, right? Where,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
sometimes you're just like, well, I know the main character ain't about to die right now,
Yeah.
so I know
Exactly.
they're chill. But if I have to rely on that fact way too often, that's where it can feel very like, dude, like,
I think for me, it's the joys of where the main character exists, but no one else is like. safe necessarily,
Hmm.
or like everybody else is in danger of being injured, uh, or anything of that sort, right?
Yeah.
And I think we see that in JJK, where like here's the main character or the protagonist, right? And he's safe, but no one else is, right?
Yeah.
And in My Hero, I think My Hero originally planned to be a darker series, but I think they acknowledged that they were who their audiences were, and I think they went a little bit on the brighter side than I think they wanted to. That's what I think happened. As the the issue with anime has always been that they write the story monthly or like bi-monthly kind of thing. And I think that sometimes causes the writers to be influenced by the people that are reading it, because they'll go online and like read comments and stuff.
Yeah, like I'm really new to it, but I remember like when JJK manga was going on, it
Mhm.
was like such a shock to everyone where they were like, "Hey, JJK has 5 chapters and the series is done." And everyone was like, "What?"
Yeah.
But when they went to detail about it, it had to do something with the how Shonen Jump works, and
Mhm.
they were like limited to like a certain time, and they were kind of like, "Hey, like the block's gonna end, I guess,"
Yeah.
which led the author Gege to I guess have to end it in 5. I don't know if that's what he wanted
That's
to.
crazy then.
Yeah,
So like for Jujutsu Kaisen, it actually wasn't, you believe, because we also might, acknowledge that like the writer could have already planned out already the idea that he was going to end it in that time.
yeah.
But do you believe he got rushed?
There is always like a thing where people were worried that he was rushing through the ending, and whether it was like he wanted to write the new stuff. I
Yeah.
personally think that he rushed in the earlier parts, but when it got to like the crazy stuff, right?
Mhm.
Um, it seemed like he wouldn't mind going into detail about it, but when that 5 chapter shutdown happened, I was like, "Oh, this is extremely rushed." Because
Like everything getting closed, like all the story and everything just coming to an end kind of thing.
yeah, like one of the 5 chapters, I won't spoil it or anything, but he basically writes a whole chapter discussing uh, how a
It's an
mechanic works.
epilogue basically.
Yeah,
Like he basically just like wrote, like if he could have, right? He basically literally covered all like the anime but like squares or like rectangles, right? And he
yeah,
just put like bubbles the whole thing
yeah,
basically. That's
yeah,
that's that does suck, right?
yeah.
That is bummer.
So
That is ass.
it is
Spoilers,
amazing.
bro. Don't, oh man, spoilers. Anyways, what is our next topic, bro? What do we got?
We got leveling up without XP.
So how do we keep growing in life while being unemployed?
Is it okay to not grow for a bit? Is that something that
I
we're
think
annoyed?
I like progression in life. I personally feel like life is too short. And I'm 28, right? And I feel like I already know that I did not or will not be able to experience everything that I want to. I love playing video games, and I think that's the frustrating part too. Because like I want to play to like get better or to like have fun or to like innovate more. Haha, that's why I picked the name. To like understand myself, how much more like I want to improve on the game kind of thing. And I mean sometimes you just don't want to like lock the hell in and like just do a bunch of research. Like sometimes you just want to take it slow.
For
And
sure.
it like the journey for me has always been more exciting than the destination. And like when you watch a superhero movie, you know how it's gonna end. There's no way you're so stupid that you don't know how the hero movie is gonna end, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Sure, there's a plot twist, but it's still gonna end the same way. Everybody goes home, right? So that's what I really mean. And when I go watch a superhero movie, I go and I still enjoy it, even if there's like lot of critique about it. And I enjoy it if the journey was good. If the journey was shit and the ending was good, maybe, but generally the endings have to be good to some extent, right? But for me the journey is also very important. So endings have to be good though.
Yeah, because honestly, when you put it that way, like, there's sometimes where I've been employed and I've been like, I feel like I don't have the time to do this extra stuff, or like, this person I had to say no to because I have something to
Yeah.
do. Like, I genuinely just cannot make that connection to make the choice that I want. However, like, when you don't have like a commitment or anything like that,
Yeah.
now you get to just play yes man. You know, you could you can go to everything and do
Record a
everything you
podcast.
want. Yeah.
Record a
Yeah, yeah,
podcast.
like you want to record a podcast, sure, do it. We'll maybe edit, we'll maybe make a YouTube channel, maybe make a TikTok, Instagram, post 3 shorts a day, that kind of vibe. Do it, sure. The thing is, the thing is, there's some experiences where I'm like, that was amazing, right? Where I get
Yeah.
to say like, I get to remember that, you know, randomly my friend in Brownsville is like, hey, I actually need your help. Could you help me out? 3 in the morning, I'm heading over there, and I'm starting to think like, um, dude, like I could do that for you because I don't have anything to do and I'm awake right now. I'm heading over, and then
These
you
are
get
the little side quests, right, that get brought
yeah.
up in life.
And it's just like those side quests, like you kind of honestly start to think, like in comparison to like an anime where you just kind of like, hey, this arc has been fire. I don't know why we're talking about this right now. Like, can we focus back on the main objective? And
Yeah.
you like, I get it now because in my story, I'm having fun. I'm like, that was
Mhm.
cool. I was like, that was a cool journey. But we should really get back to the main focus though. So
Yeah.
I guess it gives and takes, right?
Uh, w- I think the side quest is just like right now, like I have a master's in business, right? And the economy's pretty shit. Like getting a job right now is fucking bullshit. Sorry, cursing. You can beep that out. But um, I love business, but the economy is really bad to right now. And the rough part about like being so well educated is that taking a job for $15 is worse than just doing Uber and shitting on your car's like mileage, which is super funny to think about, right? That you're better off like suffering in some ways than to take a long-term commitment that would make you suffer. And I think that's there's that fun part when you're unemployed where I think you have a lot of liberty and a lot of doors that open up in that moment. But I think I mean eventually when I get a job again or something happens kind of thing of it'll be exciting, but I will acknowledge that doors are going to close when I do that. That's the sad part to me.
Yeah. I guess the realization of the doors closing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just, it's sorry, it's because just so you know, in my perspective, I was thinking, I was like, that's fair. I just feel like the doors that I don't care about are closing more than the doors
When you do have a job or when you don't have
when you don't.
interesting.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where like you kind of start seeing like, well, at least in my experience, you kind of start seeing a new focus where you're like, wait, I want to do all of those things, but all of this stuff is not happening.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends, right?
Yeah. Whatever we want out of life, I think I've always been a go-getter, so like I think I'm always gonna keep trying to like go out of my way to like get whatever I want out of life. But I think being unemployed is weird at the age of 28, and knowing that like no one's hiring right now is like tough.
That's
But
rough.
it is so
Yeah.
bad by the way. Um, but life is exciting, and I think it's one of those things like I can be stressed out about it, and you can be upset about it, but think like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah.
And sometimes you get these little side quests where like you start a podcast called Idle Screens, and you have a fun time doing it.
And just like you mentioned it, it's a great thing because like you get to work on things you want to do. Which, speaking of, kind of correlating to our conversation, you can now click on the image that I sent you.
What did you send me? The image is a skater worm.
You could do whatever you want, dude.
You can do whatever you want in life, and you can do whatever you want when you're unemployed. Even okay, what's really interesting, by the way, is even if you don't have any money when you're unemployed, the best part is you still have the freedom of time, right? And I think a lot of people don't think about it in the sense of like, oh, I don't have money. Bro, as long as I can eat, I feel like there is 1,000 options. And sometimes that messes with me because I feel stagnated and what am I gonna do? Where do I go? How do I approach this? Because like there's 1,000 things I can do. There's 1,000 skills that I have that I can possibly monetize kind of thing. But what do I want to do? And I think that's what in reference to me saying that I feel like life is too short where how I spend that time is important to me. So like getting to like hang out with my dear homie Hypey is more exciting to me than to be working and getting paid like $50 an hour doing something I hate. Like it
Yeah.
just doesn't do anything for me. Like I feel like it's a waste of my life.
Yeah.
Even if I was getting paid like I'm just giving a realistic number, that's why I said 50. I'm not gonna say like 200 at that point. Sure, do the shit job. You're getting paid a shit ton of money, right?
Do it for a
But
year
like
real quick. Like,
yeah, right. Like just suffer for like if you're gonna be making that much, right? But I'm saying like in a realistic sense, get paid $50 an hour right now at the age of 28 would be super solid. But how much are you willing to suffer, kind of thing. So
yeah,
me, it's always gonna be about the life positive things that I do rather than the just in the moment gratifications.
for sure. It's like the picking and choosing of what you're willing to do.
Yeah. So what are you willing to do? What's your next job? What do you got lined up?
Um,
Becoming a podcaster? What
honestly,
happens
dude,
after becoming a podcaster?
the uh the things they don't want you to know. It's like a topic. I got nothing.
The things they will watch. That'll be the next one. All right. Cool. All right. That's episode 1. Thank you for being here. Subscribe, like, press the like button so that we do more of these.
Are you gonna press stop?
You're the one that has the button, bro.